In 1979, Karen Carpenter, half of the legendary pop duo The Carpenters, made a decision that was both revolutionary and heartbreaking. After years of smiling for the cameras, singing ballads written and chosen by others, and performing under the creative control of her brother Richard and their record label, Karen decided it was time to take her life and career into her own hands. She invested $400,000 of her own money into creating a solo album, something she hoped would mark a bold new chapter in her life as an artist and as a woman seeking autonomy. This was not just an experiment. It was a declaration of independence. She flew to New York City and collaborated with renowned producer Phil Ramone, known for his work with Billy Joel and Barbra Streisand. In the safe creative space Ramone offered, Karen explored a sound that had always lived quietly inside her. Soulful, emotional, and raw. She moved away from the sentimental ballads she had become known for and selected songs that were bolder, edgier songs that expressed the internal world she rarely let anyone see. She was finally in control of the music. She was finally telling her story, but when she returned to Los Angeles and played the finished album for A&M Records and her inner circle, the reaction was soul-crushing. Executives felt the album wasn't commercially viable, and perhaps more painfully, that it wasn't Karen Carpenter enough. Her brother Richard, who had long been her musical partner and guiding force, reportedly disapproved of the direction she had taken. The backlash didn't just stop the album, it dismantled Karen's spirit. She was ordered to repay the production costs. More than the financial hit, it was the emotional blow that broke her. For once, she had taken a step to be seen, and instead, she was pushed back into the shadows. Behind the curtains of pop stardom, Karen had been hiding a far deeper, more dangerous struggle, one with anorexia nervosa, a disorder barely understood in the late 70s and early 80s. Long before terms like body positivity or eating disorder awareness were part of public discourse, Karen was suffering in silence. Her battle with self-image began as early as her teenage years, amplified by the harsh expectations of the entertainment industry. She internalized every comment, every critique. The pressure to be thin and flawless wasn't just public, it was institutional. Executives, photographers, even fans contributed to the unrelenting scrutiny she faced. By her early 20s, Karen had resorted to extreme dieting, subsisting on minuscule meals and overexerting. Later, she began abusing laxatives, thyroid medication, and appetite suppressants. In her mind, she was chasing perfection. In reality, she was destroying herself. At times, her weight dropped to a dangerous 80 pounds. She concealed her frailty beneath layers of clothing and makeup, always presenting a polished, cheerful image to the world. But behind closed doors, she was deteriorating physically and emotionally. Friends and colleagues noticed the changes. Her once vibrant eyes became dull, her skin lost its glow, and her bones jutted through designer dresses. Still, Karen deflected concern with charm and grace. She kept smiling, kept singing, kept showing up. But the pain was ever present. It's said that she once collapsed in her kitchen due to malnutrition, a chilling reminder of how far her body had declined. Still, she pressed on, hiding her suffering beneath her angelic voice and public persona. At home, her family struggled to understand what was happening. Her brother Richard was battling his own demons, including a dependency on Quaaludes that required rehab. Their parents, especially their strict and emotionally distant mother Agnes, remained in denial. In their eyes, Karen was the golden child, the obedient daughter, the superstar. Acknowledging her illness would mean shattering that image. And so, instead of compassion, Karen was often met with pressure to keep performing, to stay thin, to avoid embarrassment. Her solo album, once her hope for self-expression, was shelved literally and figuratively. Eventually, Karen sought treatment. In 1982, she entered a facility that specialized in eating disorders, where she began the grueling process of refeeding slowly and carefully restoring the weight she had lost. But this process came with its own dangers. Refeeding syndrome can shock the body, especially after years of starvation. Her weakened heart, already battered by years of malnutrition and the toxic medications she'd relied on, struggled to adapt. Still, there were glimmers of hope. By early 1983, Karen had gained some weight and was reportedly feeling optimistic about the future. She talked about revisiting her solo album and was even planning new projects. To those around her, she appeared to be recovering, but her body told a different story. Years of neglect had left her heart dangerously fragile. On February 4, 1983, just weeks before her 33rd birthday, Karen collapsed in her childhood bedroom. She died of heart failure, a direct complication of her long and hidden battle with anorexia. The world was stunned. The voice that had comforted millions through songs like Close to You, Superstar, and Rainy Days and Mondays had been silenced. But her death did something unexpected. It opened the public's eyes. Suddenly, anorexia was no longer a mysterious, rare disorder. It was real. It had a face. And that face belonged to someone beloved, someone who had seemingly had it all. Karen Carpenter's death became a turning point in America's awareness of eating disorders and mental health. In the aftermath, media outlets began asking hard questions. Why hadn't the signs been taken seriously? Why had her album been shelved instead of celebrated? Why was the entertainment industry so quick to enforce impossible beauty standards, yet so slow to offer support? The public reckoning came too late for Karen, but it helped spark a national conversation that continues today. Over the years, Karen's legacy has only grown. In 1996, parts of her solo album were finally released, giving fans a glimpse of the Karen they had never heard, the daring, soulful artist who was ready to break free from the mold. The songs, filled with emotion and vulnerability, became a testament to what might have been. But even beyond the music, Karen's story resonates because it reflects a universal struggle, the desire to be seen, to be accepted, to be enough. Today, eating disorder organizations cite Karen Carpenter's story as a key milestone in public education and awareness. She is remembered not only for her unmatched vocal talent but also for her courage. In a time when mental health was stigmatized, she sought help. In a time when women's voices were often silenced, she tried to speak. Her life may have been tragically short, but its impact has been long-lasting. Karen Carpenter was more than just a voice. She was a woman caught between fame and freedom, between expectation and authenticity. And while the world remembers the music, it must also remember the message that beneath even the brightest spotlight, there can be shadows. And sometimes, the quietest voices are the ones that carry the most truth.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.